Sure. I mean, I can just start talking.
Okay.
Typing lagi dah.
Okay. Okay. Is it already on?
Are we on? Are we ready to go? Okay, great. Well, welcome everyone to tonight's event. We're really happy to be able to put something like this on. Obviously, this is the really great to be able to welcome everyone here. And I think maybe we can just start by saying the idea for this celebration came from a similar effort during Ramadan by a Dutch video game developer who welcomed people to their island for buka puasa or for iftar dinners because Ramadan is such a communal time. They found it so difficult to have to deal with not being able to see friends and family during the time of COVID. On July 4th, even though it's about a week later, we try and celebrate a lot of the same things of, coming together as a community, meeting and spending time with friends and family, and sharing food and good times. So we're really happy to be able to put on this event. So without further ado, I know we have a lot of folks on the island. So I'm going to start the tour of what we've been able to do in our virtual Animal Crossing July 4th celebration. So I'll start moving along, and we'll head over to some of our other residents, and I will pass it over to Shini Aprilia from Agate to give the introductions from their side. So let's move over there now.
Let's
All right.
go.
Thanks, Evan. So really happy to be here. Thanks for having us. Agate team is like very excited to have this very innovative gathering event using Animal Crossing. Um, and so we are virtually having barbecue here. So yeah, like as Evan said that in this very difficult time, we can see that there is a like positive side of it is that we can still gather together and then having fun together, feeling a company of each other in the game, and really hope that someday, some years in the future, that we can have Indonesian games that able to provide this kind of experience for players across the globe. Um, but it's a good start that building awareness to people that you can really having fun together virtually and then through games, obviously.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for having us, having Agate over here, and also very happy to have Buriris from Game Changer, and then like fellow female founder in the Indonesian gaming industry, and thanks for Agi as well for helping set this event up, and of course for the Evan and the U.S. Embassy team to make this happen. So yeah, really looking forward to our talk later. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you so much. I think a lot of what you said rings true for us at the embassy as well. particularly your wish to eventually see an Indonesian virtual world or game that can host a similar type of gathering in the future.
Yes.
I want to also add that normally at this time, the embassy would host a big July 4th party in Jakarta. And so one of the reasons why we wanted to come together today was to, again, celebrate the Indonesian video game community and the talented developers that have given up their time twice now to be with us here in Animal Crossing. I think it's a testament maybe to both the pandemic's ability to clear our schedules, but also the desire among our partners and folks here to, again, highlight how video games can play such a positive role now during the pandemic. So I look forward to the discussion, but maybe I can just turn it over to a couple of the other folks here to just introduce themselves, since again we have such a talented bunch. So maybe if I can just quickly turn to my colleague from the U.S. Embassy, Jen, to just maybe give a wave so everyone can identify her, and just give a shout out to everyone.
Hi, everybody. I'm the one in the cute outfit. Well, no, we're all wearing cute outfits, but I think there's a little delay, so you're not going to see me wave at you for a few minutes.
Awesome. Yeah, and maybe now we can turn to a couple of our other Indonesian guest stars, and maybe I can turn it first to Muhammad Aji Santika, and then afterwards to Ruiz Marpong.
Hello, everybody. My name is Aji. I'm from Indonesian Games Association, or we call it AGI. I also have my own studio called Evridia, and it's very happy to join this celebration of event. Very unique approach, and I hope we can still, for the viewers, stay safe and can talk and have collaboration later in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Aji.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. My name is Riris Marpaung. I know it's kind of difficult for Evan to say my family name. I'm a Batak woman, so that's kind of my family name. I'm a founder and also a CEO of Game Changer Studio. As you can see, my outfit is look like a mama because I'm old. And probably if you have time, you can check out one of our the game that as a success in Steam called My Lovely Daughter. Looking forward to having a discussion with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Riris.
Thank you again. And last, but certainly not least, let me also thank both a couple of the behind the scenes team members. So of course, Igor Tanzil and the rest of the team at Agate, who have been instrumental in helping us put this on, providing the capture card technology, providing a lot of help and support to those of us that are trying to figure out how to put on an event like this for the first time. And then as well to our streamer, to Ardan Fadlur Rahman. Thank you again for helping us manage all of this new technology, because as you know, the government is one of the last groups to use new technology. So we're happy to see this event. the other thing that we also wanted to say was that for those that are watching, we developed a special bot inspired design with a QR code that we'll post to our U.S. Embassy Instagram. So if you want to check out our Instagram story to get a little something exclusive and special to commemorate our event here today, that will be available. And the story behind it is last year we created a batik design for the July 4th celebration that combines, of course, the traditional Indonesian designs with some of the symbols of the United States, and of course in red, white, and blue. So we moved that over to Animal Crossing so that hopefully folks could show it off and tag us in photos using that, or if they're interested, develop their own either batik inspired designs for us to use. And the last thing that I wanted to kind of discuss, and maybe Jen can help me here as well, and maybe our other colleague Rachel, who I know is also on the line, but is maybe talk a little bit about our experiences on July 4th. How does the island look? Is it a good representation? Is there anything that we're missing? So I don't know, Jen, if you want to be a little judgmental towards what I was able to put together on the island. Happy to hear some thoughts.
I loved what you did with the island, and you did it on such short notice. It's great. You really put together so much. You have things that I don't have, and I've been playing for like 3 months now. So I don't know how you got all of this stuff. It's great.
Yeah, I think it's a few donations from some of my followers and supporters, as you will. But I think one of the things that we like to do at the embassy for July 4th is we like to highlight American businesses, highlight of course American fast food and American restaurants in Indonesia. So I know last year we had folks getting lattes from Starbucks, getting full boxed meals and smoothies and things like that. So we tried to put up a couple of different booths and of course shout out some of our icons like the big Statue of Liberty from New York Harbor right behind the group. And then we also tried to add a few of the designs from the embassy's social media. I think everyone will recognize the Jaga Jarak. Please maintain the distancing sign as we enter, and then a few other of these behind us. So I don't know if anyone else in the group has ever been able to celebrate July 4th in the United States, or has any experience before being brought into this event today. But I don't know if anyone else has any experience or maybe wants to talk about how what our traditions look like here in comparison to Indonesia's own independence celebrations in August.
Yes.
We just like 1 month before Indonesian independence, so very close with US.
And the tradition is maybe a bit different, right? For Independence Day, it's usually like very competitive games.
Balap karung.
Yeah, so maybe basically because Indonesians are competitive naturally.
But
So
one
that's why,
one of the
yeah.
important things we also celebrate is actually there's blockbuster movies came out at July 4th, so we can also see the moment in Indonesia to watch the movies. I think a lot of big blockbuster hits it released on the 4th of July.
Yeah, I would say I don't think we have something similar to the games. One of the most interesting things when I came to Indonesia was watching all these stories of people climbing or eating kerupuk, and who could eat it the fastest with their hands tied behind their back. We do a celebration at the embassy, and I think both Jen and I can attest, we do not do as well in those competitions against our Indonesian colleagues.
Yeah, can't keep up with y'all. Y'all are awesome.
But I think there are some similarities as well too. Of course, for us, some of the biggest traditions for July 4th include things like, launching as many fireworks as you could possibly find into the sky, and with your friends in your backyard or in your neighborhood as well. And then, of course, what July 4th wouldn't be complete without barbecue and massive amounts of burgers and hot dogs and grilled corn and things like that. So if there's anything that's maybe the most similar, it's that Americans and Indonesians, I think, both love food. So maybe the foods themselves are different. Maybe our July 4th food is maybe a little bit less spicy, but it's still one of the most important things for the holiday for us.
Yeah, actually, I once was in LA 4th of July 4 years ago, and I wasn't able to sleep because all the fireworks like in the sky, like yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the same. I think for us too. I have a dog that I adopted from Indonesia, and he was back in the United States for this July 4th, and I think listening to that many fireworks for the first time was a bit overwhelming for him.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so and what we've also tried to add some flowers here in the back, in kind of red, white, and blue, and then also kind of have some popsicles. Again, cues here because
And also the usage time, because like especially since maybe March, April, like we see, yes, yeah, what happened? Doesn't work.
Jenny, I can
Yeah.
hear you. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we restart the question. Evan,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, maybe just go from I think you had talked about the impact on the kind of work from home, but again, you were kind of starting to talk instead about kind of what you've seen from your users, what you have seen in terms of data usage in the games. So I think that might be interesting to say what type of trends you're seeing from your games. You know, during the PSBB and now during the new normal conditions.
Yeah, so more usage in work hour. So our hypothesis is because like previously people will just start playing after they finish work or school, and since the start of PSBB, people like play all day long. That's of course that's good for our business. Um, and yeah, and then for our so that's for the usage of the game. But also for the sales, we also experience quite a positive trend on the game sales as well, because we also have a game on Switch, and the sales, especially in the North America and Europe, is was pretty good as well in the pandemic work from home situation. Yeah.
Thanks. No, I mean that's interesting. It's probably true for me as well. Don't tell my bosses, but the game during the day, I think is something that definitely happens. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe I can turn to Aji now
Yeah.
to ask maybe a larger question based off of what you were saying, Shini, which is kind of where do you see the game industry moving after COVID here in Indonesia? Obviously, we want this, the pandemic to end as soon as possible. But I'm curious as to what you're hearing from your members about, its impact and how, it went from such a dynamic, community, what it might look like, let's say maybe in 2021 or 2022, based on what's happening now.
Yeah. First of all, this Animal Crossing becoming hit right now in Indonesia because yeah, a lot of people need some refreshment in their home. It's one of the fact that we are moving towards people playing games in all of the platform. There's a surge of rapid increasing the numbers, like in people that buy stuff from Steam, from Play Store, from App Store, and the numbers actually higher than 20%, so it's very high. Uh, I think uh, people right now really enjoy in interacting with other people through games, and also for us as a game developers, there's a lot of people also that focus on more B2C content. I think Agate has already launched one of the B2C game that gained traction very good in the last 2 weeks ago, and also one of the Indonesian game developers called Toge also gained a lot of reputation in this year. Launched game called Coffee Talk in Steam and gained international reputation. So that's improvement that we saw in the gaming industry in Indonesia, despite a lot of people playing foreign games in their mobile phones or in their consoles.
Yeah, no, great. That's it's interesting to hear, particularly the statistics about kind of where you feel things are going. I think maybe related to that, and maybe this could be for Riris and Shini as well. I'm interested to hear about maybe your career paths, and about how to wrap up the Indonesian gaming community in this conversation on human capital development and President Jokowi's stated interest to help develop both the digital economy, but also to empower young Indonesians with the training to compete in a more digital world. So maybe if you can maybe talk how you got to where you were in such senior roles, look for candidates that might be applying for jobs with you, and what advice you might have for someone join the video game developer industry in Indonesia.
Maybe Bu Riris want
Mm.
to start. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, maybe a little bit about me. Actually, I joined my career as a game developer is kind of late in my 40, I guess, because I used to be a librarian in a university and in a school. I don't have any background about game development. So I was graduated from library school in Universitas Indonesia. I met my co-founder Dodik, who founded this studio together. When we worked in a university, and he was a lecturer and I was a librarian, and then he asked me to become a CEO because he saw my potential as a leader. And then together we founded the studio. It's a small studio actually compared to Agate with hundreds of people there. We are like only 10 people here in our small studio. So during this COVID pandemic, we don't really do the work from home. We still work in our studio actually. And so it's kind of accident actually, but it's a good accident. It's a lovely accident. And then I learned fast, learn fast about game development, game design. What should I do as a leader in my 40 again? Because we founded the studio in 2013, so it's 7 years already. And I learned fast from since I'm a librarian, so it's easy for me to look for from books and internet how to do this developing game. I don't know anything about it, but then Dodik really helped me, and then internet and books because I love reading. And then we learn not only I learned not only from those kind of thing, but also from failures, some failures in our games. We developed like I don't know 30 games, but like only two from that 30 games reached the success. Mentioned earlier about the game My Lovely Daughter. And during this and also it's actually, it's a pleasure working with these young people, like half of my age. They are like 23 to I don't know 28, I guess, and Dodik is like 30 something. So it's fun working with these young people. And Evan mentioned about what kind of thing that I must see in uh, new wants to join my company. Actually, the first thing that I'm going to check is their what do you say? Their attitude and their ethics compared to their educational background or their skill. Actually, I put it like on second priority. I will check how they communicate and how their answer some of my question like about their family or about their friends instead of ask them about the technical thing or a technical thing. Yeah, I'm more interested with their attitude instead of the skill actually. What else? The question is so long, not remember.
No, yeah, no problem. I think you hit on it. I think the last question was just kind of like, what do you look for in your potential hires? What do you look for as you're thinking about expanding Game Changer, and how can young Indonesians who might be interested in the industry,
Oh,
um, you
okay.
connect
Yes.
with you? Internships,
Oh,
things like
since I have a background with education. I was a librarian and also a teacher. Yeah, some school invited me and Dodik to come to their school to enlightening them about game development, since there are not many universities here who has what is it major in game development. So it's kind of hard to with their children if they choose to. It's still like a strange thing. It's still like not a good thing here in Indonesia. If if your children came to you and they tell you they want to be a gamer, they don't really know what kind of career or future for their children if they want to be a game developer actually. So I went to some school and talked to some parents and also some students and give them some advice about this career, the challenge, but also the good thing. If you're not only playing a game, but you can also develop the game.
Thanks. Yeah, maybe I could turn to Shini for kind of the similar question, kind of talking through a little bit about your career path, and again, what advice you would give to maybe young Indonesians that are interested in this field.
So whose career path? Sorry.
Say it again.
So can you repeat your question? I'm sorry.
Sure.
So yeah.
Sure. I just wanted to know a little bit about your career path and how you ended up where you are, and advice that you would give maybe to the next generation of Indonesians that are interested in this career. What do you look for in potential hires? What are the skills that they need to succeed in the industry? And how can they manage all of that given COVID-19 and other challenges that we're dealing with these days?
All right. Thanks, Evan. So my career path in this industry started back 11 years ago when me and my friends, like we have like 18 of us started Agate. So we were just bunch of geeks back then, and we are still are actually, and we were like very passionate gamers that want to make our own games, as simple as that. And then we at that time there were like almost no like established game companies, so that's why we decided to just start our own. Very pretentious. And then so yeah, like a lot of failures, and then also some success as well. And then so we develop like flash games, and then we develop like social games. We develop like gamification to help, like, because so like from the first time that we started the company is like the reason is beside that we like all love games, but we also like strongly believe that games can have power outside of just entertaining, but also can be used for like other purpose, like learning and like many things. So that's why we don't just develop games for entertainment, but also we develop games for like learning purpose, and also for solving business problems. Like, so we have like corporate clients as well, like asking us to develop many kind of game solutions for them. So yeah, and then like with our recent title as well, we are not only looking for develop like high quality games, but we also have like always try to have um, fulfill other mission as well. For example, the latest game that we released, like Aji has mentioned as well, is Kotatma. Kotatma is like RPG game with like Indonesian mythical and historical characters, because we aim to make the Indonesian characters becoming global phenomenon, like through a medium of games. So that's the dream. So that's why we released the game, and hopefully it can be successful. Yeah, finger crossed.
No, I think that's helpful. I mean, I think it's great to see gender representation at the at the highest level of the video game community, because again, it's I think something that even in the United States, we continue to see. How can we continue to support STEM careers, as well as ensure that we have broad and strong gender representation in the video game community. So again, it's great to have you both here and to be able to see you both, and hear about how you were able to get here. I think the other area that I'm interested in is maybe hearing from Aji a little bit about what AGI has been able to do as an association, what the conversations are like, and what are the issues that you're seeing with the Indonesian government as you continue to lobby on behalf of the industry.
Okay, first is we become the bridge between the game developers and the government, because we need the main purpose is we need to educate more on the government side, because they didn't know anything about gaming industry, and we already done that in the past 8 years, and right now for the maybe the the actual contribution is like we go with government having discussion about how the policy that can we create to help the game developers. Like right now, there's a running program called Bantuan Insentif Pemerintah. It's like giving some grants to the industry, creative industry, and the game developers can apply and got the grant up to 200 million rupiah. That's one of the initiation that we also having discussion with the government that created a program. And then in the last few days, we also done some curation to select several game developers from Indonesia to attend the online conference called Gamescom. It's the biggest game developers event in Europe, and it will be held next month in August. It is also collaborate with the Ministry of Kemenparekraf to help. We do the curation with the government to curate about 16 game developers from Indonesia, and then we see that the potential is to having several programs that can be we can do the long-term programs to develop game developers in Indonesia that can create more worldwide content, because we see that the Indonesian game developers not only targeted Indonesian gaming market, so that's become maybe one of our strength in Indonesian game developers, and also we also push several policies to develop the Indonesian game developers become more rapid and more agile. Like we talk with the Ministry of Finance to having like some tax deduction to the game developers, and talk with the Ministry of Communication to create development programs for Indonesian game programmers, game designers, and then technical artists to level up our skills and our capability in that kind of area, which is gaming industry is still new. It's like 10 years in 20 years to 10 years in Indonesia. So we need to develop faster in the terms of people development, and we also engage more with the other ministry to having conversation. Like we must go to several big gaming events in the world to have booth, to join the B2B platform, so we can like having a lot of collaboration with other game studios from abroad, or maybe got some investment in the game studio. I think some of the uh, outsourcing studios in Indonesia already got the investment and become part of the larger network, larger global gaming network, like in the US and in Europe. So yeah, that's our contribution with the gaming industry, especially with the government.
No, I think that that's helpful, and I think it's great to hear that, you know, when you may have initially approached the government, it was more of a conversation about maybe educating them on the industry and educating them on your needs, and you know, it's a continued process, but it sounds like now there's maybe a shift to more of a recognition
Yeah,
of the industry, you know, by the government, by Baycraft, by the Ministry of Finance, by maybe the Ministry of ICT, and maybe they're, you know, the conversation has shifted to how can they support you. I wanted to maybe just kind of focus in and ask you a little bit about, you know, as you said, the community's integration into the global gaming network. So, you know, obviously, you know, as someone from the United States, you know, I like to, you know, hear about kind of what your interactions have been with U.S. companies. You know, do they have an interest in the market? You know, how do you see Indonesia fitting into that wider gaming, you know, global gaming industry moving forward?
okay. Agate, for example, actually got some distribution partners from global distribution partners. I think Steam also right now approach several game developers, Steam platform, to having serious discussion about uh, how to grow the numbers game developers to uh, create new game that can be published on Steam. So Steam is also the US, maybe one of the biggest companies right now, and we regularly attend event in the US, like Game Developer Conference, GDC, Games Connection America, GCA, that located in San Francisco. And I think yearly the number of the participants is grow like 10 to 20%. And there's two ways that you can join with the GDC. Like if you can go with the government, we have like curated uh, game developers that can join the programs like GDC and GCA. But there's also several companies that uh, invited by the US game company to join, like in their indie development booth, or in because there's initial talks to like having some distribution channel in US. So that's the improvement that we see right now in just like 4 years and maybe 3 years before that is zero communication with global uh, games company, global distribution channel with Indonesia. But right now, I think it's going to the brighter direction because also we see that we have 250 people, a million people that become this is a huge market for gaming industry, and I think in the next 5 year we can be number one in Southeast Asia to in terms of revenue and in terms of number of people that playing the game. So I think there will be a lot of more collaboration that will happen in the future, maybe in the near future with the global gaming industry network. And we as an Agi really open to having discussion and having uh, bridging to the government, so we can also together with the uh, uh, global game company we can change the way that the government thinks and support it even more in this I think one of the largest entertainment industry right now in the world, so we can collaborate and participate more with the growth of this industry. Yeah.
Thanks. I mean, it's great to hear the possibility that over the next few years Indonesia might become the largest video game community in Southeast
Yeah.
Asia. And I like kind of what you were hinting at, where you were saying one of the things that's unique about the industry, given platforms like Steam, like GOG, like Epic Games, is that when you're creating a product, even if it's developed in Indonesia, it can be released to potential users across the world. So it has a very different feel to it, and a different kind of path than maybe a product in the past that was only made for one country or for one market. So that's interesting to hear. And maybe that leads me to my next question. And I know we're approaching an hour, and I want to be respectful of people's time. But Shinny had raised this idea of geek culture, and how slowly over time, being able to kind of accept that culture, or allow it to become more mainstream. So I guess maybe we can close with this, but I'd be interested to hear everyone's thoughts on kind of the acceptance of video games as part of maybe millennial and Indonesian culture at the same time. What does that mean about the industry that you're in, and are video games mainstream now, or will they be after COVID?
Maybe first Jenny.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think in the future after this pandemic is over, hopefully soon, I think like games will becoming much more mainstream because like as you can see like from the school students, like they are more used to on like with online learning, and like that will follows by like other mediums, like digital mediums, and one of them is games. So hopefully after this, like the more serious activities can embrace games even more because for example like everyone, right, everyone is like very motivated when they are playing games. They play voluntarily, and like while on the other hand, if people are pushed to learn at school, they typically will not very happy about it. So that's why not like putting games as a medium that can help enhance learning activities, for example. So yeah, I'm very optimist for the future, especially for this in this industry, not only for the entertainment part, but also for the other activities that can be much more effective, much more because
like the gaming industry community, the business, like we connect with the Agate, the game changer. The last is the media. If this whole elements can work together, I think we can improve more with the advancement of the gaming industry with rapid growth. I think in the next 2 years or 3 years, so we can show our Indonesian game potential to the world and accelerates the creative industry and make the gaming industry as the pinnacle to get a lot of revenue to come. That's for me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Just add a little bit from me. Yeah, I agree with Aji and also Shani. And what I'm going to say is, I hope that Indonesian player, Indonesian gamer, and also the world will notice more about the game from Indonesia. Shani already mentioned a game from Agate, which is called Atma, and also Lokapala. Maybe later you can check it out. That game. I think it's a promising one, and it's a rising time for Indonesian game developer and games to show their potential to the big market that Aji already mentioned here in Indonesia, and also to the global.
Both of them also introduce the Indonesian culture, mixed with
Yes,
the
yes,
pop
yes.
culture. I think there's
Strong.
one of
Yeah,
the huge potential.
yes, yes.
We have a lot
Hopefully,
of like thousands cultures around Indonesia that can we mix with the games.
yeah.
That's become the our national treasure.
Yeah.
yeah.
I like that. I like that idea. The idea that Indonesian video games can help tell, an Indonesian story to maybe audiences that are unfamiliar or maybe hearing it for the first time. I know that studios around the world, as I mentioned, are making games for a wider community. Not just in maybe their country of origin, but that doesn't mean they can't also you know adapt stories or add culture that
Mhm.
provides you know a learning lesson. And I know that at least for me, one of my favorite games is called The Witcher, and it's made by a Polish studio that tells a lot about kind of Polish folklore and Polish culture through the game itself, and so you're able to learn a lot even just by playing. So. Without further ado, I think maybe that's a good note to end on, since we're approaching an hour here, and again, everyone has been so generous with their time and being here. So maybe if we can just ask Ardan here to take a last picture of everyone on in our little studio. And again, let me wish everyone a happy 4th of July. And thank everyone who helped put together this event, from the U.S. Embassy, from Agate, from Asosiasi Game Indonesia, from Game Changer, And again, for those that might be interested, we have posted a special exclusive uh, uh, US July 4th batik design on our Instagram. So please check that out. And again, thank
Thank
you to
you.
everyone for joining today.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you, thank you, Evan and everyone.
Yeah, thank you everyone.